Globalization began to dramatically reshape the United States in the last quarter of the 20th century, especially during the 1990s. Professor Paul A. Harris argued, quote, "Globalization has been the defining feature of the late 20th century, exemplified by sharply increased trade in goods, interconnected financial markets, and large-scale international migration. Globalization is defined by cross-border connectivity, including porous borders which serve to expedite flows of goods, while at the same time increasing the level of immigration, both legal and illegal." It is important to note that globalization is deeply contested. Proponents argue globalization has lifted untold millions of people out of poverty, while its critics assert that it has worsened income gaps and exacerbated the transfer of wealth from the bottom to the top of society. Arkansas Governor Bill Clinton, who won the presidency in 1992, embraced globalization. Clinton set out an ambitious agenda that included completion of the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA. NAFTA, which was initiated by President Ronald Reagan and negotiated by his successor, George H.W. Bush, was designed to abolish trade barriers between the United States, Mexico, and Canada. Clinton's embrace of free trade, along with efforts to reform welfare and deregulate financial markets, marked a new democratic embrace of policies previously associated with conservatives like Reagan. With NAFTA, Clinton reversed decades of Democratic opposition to free trade and opened the nation's northern and southern borders to the free flow of capital and goods. Critics, particularly in the American Midwestern Rust Belt, blasted the agreement for opening American workers to competition with low-paid foreign workers. Indeed, many American factories did relocate. They set up shops, maquilas, in northern Mexico that took advantage of Mexico's low wages. Thousands of Mexicans rushed to the maquilas. Thousands more continued on past the border. It is important to note, however, that increases in productivity, the ability to produce more output with fewer workers, has also been a major factor in the job losses experienced across certain sectors of the American economy. NAFTA opened American borders to goods and services, but people still navigated strict barriers to immigration in the 1990s and into the new century. Policymakers believed that free trade would create jobs and wealth that would incentivize Mexican workers to stay home, and yet multitudes continued to leave for opportunities in El Norte. The 1990s proved that prohibiting illegal migration was, if not impossible, exceedingly difficult. Poverty, political corruption, violence, and hopes for a better life in the United States, or simply higher wages, continued to lure undocumented immigrants across the border. Between 1990 and 2010, the proportion of foreign-born individuals in the United States grew from 7.9% to 12.9%, and the number of undocumented migrants tripled from 3.5 million to 11.2 million. While large numbers continued to migrate to traditional immigrant destinations, California, Texas, New York, Florida, New Jersey, and Illinois, the 1990s also witnessed unprecedented migration to the American South. Among the fastest-growing immigrant destination states were Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Georgia, and North Carolina, all of which had immigration growth rates in excess of 100% during the 1990s.